welcome to another Pilates class. Today's muscle that we're focusing on is the TVA, your transverse abdominals or your core, and the obliques. So there'll be some specific exercises. The core itself we've been doing a lot for anyway, but there'll be some really hefty oblique stuff. I've tried some out during the week. I can actually see sort of a fine definition in my obliques, so that's nice. Okay, so toys today you'll need your pair of tights or a stretchy band if you have. I've got a can of cider for afterwards. Any can will do, or a mug, but don't use your finest china. I just want something fairly heavy. And a fairly heavy book. I've got my old Oxford Advanced Learning Dictionary that I used to have at school. What have you got, Steve?
I've got Peter Ackroyd's Biography of the Thames.
So get all those books out that have been standing on the shelf and you haven't looked at in years. So roughly something the size of your normal Pilates block, but not the block because we want it as a weight. Okay, it's a nice heavy hardcover if you can. Good. You also might need a chair, so I've got one on standby there for some of the exercises. Okay, so another thing I'd like to mention is I noticed when I'm watching myself on the videos how my spine is actually shifting. So I've really got this lean to the side, and I've been wondering for years why I've got slight niggling back pain on the left side. Well, it all becomes clear now because I haven't got the feedback from the mirror. I presume when I'm teaching and I see myself in the mirror that I go on autopilot and correct it. But now we're filming away from the mirror and it literally gets worse every week. I keep leaning more and more and more to the side, which has got loads of ongoing effects. So, knowing my clients, you know whether you're straight or not. You probably need the feedback from a mirror as well. So, next time you go shopping, go to the range. I think for 10, 12 quid you get a little long mirror. Or you might have one in the house anyway. It'd just be really good sort of advice. Get that mirror out, and when you set yourself up for the standing stuff, use the mirror. So I'll probably have to drag one in as well further afield so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, feel it there. Okay, so transverse abdominals, you all remember where they are? Starting from your pubic bone, going over your hip, meeting in the back with a big slab of fascia, over the ribs, meeting the front, big slab of fascia. So it's the internal corset. Obliques, I didn't go into that much detail on my write-up. We've got internal and external. Basically, they just crisscross. Muscle fibers go this way, this way. Don't need to know any more about it, just as long as we know where they are. Okay, so we're going to start on the floor. Set yourself up in your normal setup. I'll get my clever book ready. Right, so making sure the feet are nice and parallel and just arrive on the floor. Oh, you need enough room to move your arms up. So reshuffle if you can. Get the cider can out of the way. There we go. Keeping it real, this happens in class all the time. Just when we're done, we need to reshuffle. Okay, good. So just arriving on the floor. Feet nice and parallel, and we just take a few diaphragmatic breaths, which we know all really good at because it was last week's muscle. So breathing into your ribs. Exhale, zip up and hollow, shrinking your core muscles, and softly imprint, and repeat in your own time.
Are we releasing from imprint when we breathe in?
Oh yeah. So keep that breath, tightening the corset, softly, not too tense because you want to be able to move, so about 30%, and then observe what else is tense or out of place. I can feel one of my feet wants to go wandering off to, I don't know, that way, Bristol, and I know at least 6 clients that are also wandering off to Bristol and to London on the other side. Okay, so fine checking on those feet. And then observe whether you've got the same amount of weight on either side of your body. So I'm talking about the back of pelvis area and the ribs. Are you falling to one side or do you feel you're even? Is one shoulder blade a little bit more pokey? Is your head in the middle or is it dolloping to one side? You also need a mirror underneath the ceiling, obviously. That would be such a good idea actually. Potentially quite freaky. Mirrors everywhere. Okay, and then place your arms by your side and then working with your breath and your core. You're just going to breathe in, exhale, zip up and hollow, float one arm up and above your head. And float it back down. And repeat on the other side with your own timing. So you're just trying to observe what your shoulder blade is doing. Is it sticking out? Is it poking? Are you arching? Just letting those arms, I was going to say glide, they're not really gliding. Float.
Yeah.
Just move your arms. And then observe what your rib cage is doing. If I come to a certain height of my arm, it wants to start flaring. So don't let the rib cage flare. Keep the ribs nice and tight, that leads into your corset. Allow the arm to be heavy, use it as a leverage, and allow it to sink. It mustn't touch the floor. I mean, now some people can, I certainly can't.
Well, it should come to your peripheral vision.
Yeah, like we do standing up. And then do it with both arms together. Now I know some of us always bring their arms together overhead. It's almost like a prayer position. So keep your arms at least shoulder width apart. I want to widen mine out. We could play around with widen into your fat V shape, and the next one keep it a little bit narrower. Yeah, I can't lift my arms anywhere if I keep it narrower. Just knowing where you are. And then from there, float the arms to the side. Remember they stay in your peripheral vision, so not touching the floor, and continue the circle. And then do 4 more circles, so floating the arms up, to the side, and back down to your legs. Keep going while I check the Clever book. So that's the first yawn coming out, and that's fine.
Yeah, after we were working out for an hour before the aerobic class, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then we did aerobic class, and then we have a little bit of breakfast, and you sort of cool down.
Keeping the arms up now. And we're going to some shoulder drops. So reach one arm high up so the shoulder blade comes off the floor, and then gently place it back down. So it's quite a controlled shoulder drop for the time being.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then reaching both arms up. Okay, well then we're going to do it a little bit more droppy, so we're back to one arm. Imagine your fingers are hanging on a string, the string's being cut and it just drops. And I'm at the side. And snip, snap. I don't think I've ever said snip, snap in Pilates.
Snip, snap,
Snip, snap, Pilates.
Schnee, schna, snappy. It was a German crocodile, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cartoon. Schnee, schna, snappy.
And then schnee, snap, snappy with both arms. Work with your breath as well as you breathe in. And let the air fall out. 2 more. And relax. Okay, you need your book and your whatever can you've got. Okay, and you're going to place it onto your tummy and balance the can on top. And we're going to have our legs together. Okay, so you want to keep this stable throughout the exercise. Good luck with that. So, we're going to breathe in. Exhale, zip up and hollow. Actually, when I'm talking, it just moves all the time. I'm trying this out in silence.
It depends how much your stomach, how round your stomach is as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've got the book widthways, or widthways.
I've got mine widthways.
Okay, and on lower tummy or mid tummy?
Lower.
Okay.
Okay, so squeeze the thighs together. You've softly imprinted. Imagine you've got a bolt between both knees and you're just going to extend one leg. And lower. Change it, so breathing in. Exhale, zip up and hollow as you extend. And lower. You can brush the toes in.
Oh, I've dropped one. Very low or something.
When you extend your leg, really see whether you can imprint your spine a little bit
No,
more.
I keep dropping my can towards my, when it comes in, towards my legs. So, exhale. Inhale.
Now breathe in.
Because my tummy's bulging out when I breathe in, right?
I'm breathing as I'm extending.
Breathing in as you're extending.
Yeah.
I thought you said breathe out. Oh, sorry.
Maybe I said it the wrong way around.
So you breathe in as you extend. That's unusual, isn't it?
No, I don't do it.
No, you breathe out as you extend. But mine was falling downwards when I came in as I breathed in, which means my belly was bulging out a bit.
And we're not doing diaphragmatic breathing. I just tried it the other way around. It works any which way.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're doing Pilates breathing, right?
Yes.
Into the ribs going sideways and the tummy staying flat, and I failed. And I'm even a teacher, so that should make you feel better about yourself.
Don't laugh because it will fall off. Right, ending on. So extending the leg, flexing the foot, and point, and lower. Do 3 more of those. Extend, and flex, and point, and lower. And extend, and flex, and point, and lower, and extend, and flex, and point. Next, add on. Extend, and flex, turning the leg out from your hip socket. And turn it back parallel, point, and lower. Well, the idea of having this on there is to see whether you're stable in the pelvis or not.
I'm obviously not.
And flex, and turn up.
Of course, I've got hip replacement and on the edge of another one,
So one more time. Flex, turn out, parallel, back in, and extend, flex, turn out, turn parallel, point. And you have a little breather, then we're going to do the next set. Yeah, I also did try it out with a mug rather than a tin. I mean, these ones are quite long and wobbly, so I guess if you had some tin tomatoes, it would be a little bit more stable. Or what comes in a huge tin? I don't know. Go shopping, find the right size. So if this fails, just go shopping, get that mirror, and find the right size tin or can. Right, next step. So softly imprint again, extend. Keep the imprint, lower the leg, only as far as you can with keeping the imprint. Bring it up, fold in between your knees and fold it back in. Other side. And now I remember why I wanted to breathe in as the leg comes out. So I can breathe out as the leg lowers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it went breathing in, Exhale, zip up and hollow as you lower, because that's the hardest bit. Oh, can't half feel my tummy muscles.
I keep dropping my chin. Come on, kids, stay flat.
So what we might need to do is have 3 cans for you and gaffer tape them together.
And then gaffer tape them to the book.
Okay, next set. Flexing the foot and then lowering. Sending the heel away, so make the leg really long. Pulling it out of your hip socket. Back up, point, lower. Flex, lower, long, 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 long. Oh, inner thighs, hallelujah. One more time, right and left. And flex, and lower. Close. Last one of that set, and then you've just got the turning out ones to do. Right, 4 more with turning out, so flex, turn out, lower. Come back up, turn parallel, point. Don't know why people always think it's easier when you're lying on the floor. So you should be feeling your inner thighs now, and you know all about your inner thighs by now. Your royal family. If you do remember them, you can name them now. Or write a comment below. Last one. Good. Just bring the legs slightly apart, let the inner thighs relax. And just bring your arms overhead, flexing the wrists, so interlinking the fingers and pushing away. And release. Interlinking fingers, pushing away. And release. 2 more. And then the last one, take your arms a little bit higher up. Okay, we're going to stretch the wrists out, so palms up to the ceiling as much as you can. Take the other hand, go bend the elbow and just stretch. So it's like flexing your foot, just that you do it with your hand. And just breathe into that sensation. The other hand. Always one that's tighter. This is my right one. Much tighter. It's the mouse hand. And then spread your fingers wide any which way. And try and stretch the ring finger up. Well, if I've got my palms up, I'll try and stretch the ring finger as high up as possible and give it a wiggle. And spread the thumb away. And relax. Interlink the fingers again. Soft imprint, and then float the arms up as high as they want to go without totally flaring your ribcage. And just take a few breaths there. Allowing the diaphragm to push down, and then pelvic floor leads the way back up. 2 more breaths. If you can now take your can and your hook off.
Oh, I took it off.
Did you? Okay, let me just check. Yep, have your tights on standby. Okay, we're going to bring one leg into the air, into an attitude shape. So for those of you that have been doing the live ballets, you do know what an attitude is. It's a bent knee, so it's not 90, it's just somewhere in between 180 and 90. And then just circle the leg. Imagine you're still having your book and can on there, so you wouldn't want to have any wobbles. And the other knee should not wobble in sympathy either. Actually, you can imagine you've got the book on the tummy and the can on the knee. Change direction. Swapping legs. I was going to do this with book and tummy, but I haven't got any room to actually circle your leg. So into attitude, parallel attitude that is, and circle. And you probably find one side is much more stable than the other. This is my good side, because left side is my standing leg and right side is my doing leg, so this is much easier. And the other way around. Okay, swapping legs again. Now we're going to do turned out attitude. So come to that parallel attitude again, and then simply turn your leg out. And stir in the pot there. Changing direction. And swapping legs. Parallel attitude, turned out attitude, circle around. So yes, we're articulating the hip joint, but it's also very much about stabilizing. So don't worry if your circle is very small, because we will be doing bigger circles later on with the aid of the tights. Swapping legs again, back to parallel attitude. This is your windscreen wiper. So you just cross over and open to the side as much as you can without rocking anywhere. So to test whether you're cheating or not, you take the arms off. And keep the leg really parallel off the ground.
Rock and over to the right.
So make your legs a windscreen wiper. That's really hard, isn't it? It doesn't go anywhere.
Actually, I forgot, you can do this on side rolls as well to check.
Okay, and then turn your leg out. And do a turned out windscreen wiper. Without moving the supporting leg. Really hard. I can actually feel my obliques doing that. Holding things in place. The core is a stabilizer. Your obliques have got a little bit of a change leg, double job. They're stabilized, but they also move.
So parallel.
Parallel first. Parallel windscreen wiper. Make sure you open from your thigh. I just see myself just wiggling from the knee. This side can't do this, it's just the knee that wants to do this rather than the thigh opening. And turn it out. Okay, leg back down, get your tights ready. Stick the first leg back in.
Can't find the tights.
Can't find the tights. Oh. Okay. Now we can take a bigger circle. I'll give you a little bit of rocking round allowance. Just really think about the hip joint articulating as much as possible. Just oiling it all. And the other way around. Good, then stopping in the center. Take the grip a little bit tighter. And really extend through your heel and flex the foot. So I really want the leg to be straight. So it might be here, and that's perfectly fine, but we want to have a straight leg. I'm just going to hold it there. So really focus for the moment on imprinting as much as you can, and then pushing the heel away from you as your backside pushes more into the ground. And then as you exhale, let your back release into neutral, but still keep your core control. And flexing the foot, pushing the heel away, imprinting, maybe float the leg a little bit closer to you. If you just break your joints.
Yeah, they just slipped off.
And relax into neutral. And you're flexing the foot, imprinting, zipping up and hollowing, float the leg a little bit closer. And relax into neutral. Well, not really relax. Allow yourself to go into neutral, but keep everything engaged. Good. Then take your tights into the opposite hand to leg. Other arm goes to the side and cross the leg over. First of all, try and keep your opposite bum cheek on the floor. And try and keep the leg really parallel. Mine wants to turn out, so keep it really parallel.
Just a note, with the bony changes with this arthritic hip, I can't keep it parallel anymore because it's pinching too much. So I have to turn it out. And just now, when we were doing just the parallel hamstring stretch, I was taking the leg an inch to the side or turning it out slightly to miss that pinch in the hip. So if you've got hip problems, arthritic hips, you might need to turn it out a bit or not pinch. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, now you've got a little bit of turnout allowance, and you have allowance to leave that bum cheek off the ground a little bit so you can stretch it over further. You could also play around with where your leg goes. It really depends individually. You might want to float your leg higher up to get a better stretch. You might want to actually extend the bottom leg and have both legs lower down, but really pull over. So just play around with, you want to feel a stretch on the side of your thigh. If you're quite low, go for these sort of, as if in imprint as much as possible. There. And it's also good to sort of pull the tights, but push with your hip against the opposite direction. And float it back up, let go of the tights. And just extend the underneath leg and bring the knee to the opposite shoulder. Do it all on the other side. Right, swapping legs, tights over, and we started with big circles with hip allowance. So big mobility circle. The other way around.
Make sure we don't speed up too much on this side because we always rush the second swing, don't
we? Okay, coming, whoops, clash. Make sure you don't clash with your neighbours, spatial awareness. Hamstring stretch, so grabbing a little bit tighter. Flexing the foot, make sure the back of your knee is fully straightened, so if your leg's there, that's fine. So we're going to go flex, imprint, zip up and hollow, pushing the heel away, so lengthening the leg out of your hip socket. And then, under control, release into neutral spine, float the leg a little bit closer. And breathing in. Exhale, zippity-doo-dah, imprint, pushing the heel away. Under control, release into neutral spine. Floating the leg a little bit closer. We're going to do that twice more. Breathe in. Exhale, zippity-doo-dah, imprint, flex, lengthen. Control it, release into neutral spine. Float the leg closer. Last one. And zippity-doo-dah, imprint, flex, lengthen, push away. And under control, release into neutral. Float the leg a little bit higher. Okay, grabbing the tights with one arm in opposition. Other arm goes to the side. And we're going to cross over. First of all, keeping both bum cheeks on the ground, keeping it nice and parallel. If you can. You might need to make minor adjustments with the underneath leg. And I quite like sort of pushing my thigh away from me as well. It sort of helps the hip to go down and helps the parallel as well. And then you've got your lifting hip off allowance and play around with where your leg wants to go. Higher up, lower down, extending the underneath leg. Just play with the range of movement. Just hope your tights are long enough. Floating it back up. Letting go of the tights. And fold the knee in. And putting it across to the opposite shoulder. Okay, next one is for your core stability again. So, if you're still really struggling with pelvic lifts, you find them super hard, just do some pelvic lifts. However, I know some of you are very good with pelvic lifts and you want to try something a little bit harder. So I've tried out various options here. I'm just going to demonstrate them and then you can pick what you want to do or do a pick and mix. So one version is, I instantly wanted to put my strong leg up, didn't I? So I'm going to do it on my weak side. You're going to go, put your leg back up, make sure the other leg needs to be sort of slightly further in as if you had your legs together, okay? Probably needs to be quite close to your heel, and then you're going to try a pelvic lift in that position. So imprint, zip up, hollow, squeeze the glute and roll up. You won't be getting very high, but it's super hard on the quad and the bum. So that's one version. Your hamstring might cramp as you come down, mine just did. You could try it with the legs cross-legged, which is nice because it sort of gives you glute stretch there at the same time. Or you could do really close crossed as if you're stopping yourself going for a teetle. Which is also nice because it does sort of things on the opposite hip. As long as you go through imprint before you go up, so take your options. And if you're going to do about 8 on each leg, or if you do the two-legged ones, then just keep rolling away and make sure you engage in all the right places. Yeah, they're all good. So I've done 4 now, so another 4 on the same side.
Oh, yeah, that's right again.
Well, as long as you do change sides at some point.
Oh, when have you changed sides?
I haven't changed sides yet.
Right, okay.
Don't forget to engage your glute. I just found myself floating up there without squeezing my bum. This is my last one on this side. Squeeze bum. Feel the burn, Steve?
Feel the grating of bone on bone with no cartilage.
Yeah, I get that in my knee. Right, other side. Take your options. Again, the other side might be very different. Oh, much easier on this side. Lucky me, I did the bad side first. Now it's almost a pleasure doing the second side. Squeeze bum. Make sure your chest doesn't flare. Another option, of course, is if you're really struggling with those, go against the wall, have your feet up a wall, or feet up on a chair, or feet up on the sofa. Possibilities are endless. And if you've got a toddler, they can sit on your tummy, that'll make it extra hard. Right, I've got 2 more to go. I'm going to try the tight version for this one. Oh yeah, that's very hamstringy. Very good there. Oh! And then when you've done your last one, just bring your knees into your chest and rock forwards and backwards. Okay, so the next exercise is seated, and if you're struggling with that particular seat, it also works on the chair. You'll need your big book. You're going to be sitting like this, so it might be cramping somewhere in around the hip flexor area. I'll show the chair version in a bit. So we're going to sit up as tall as possible. We're simply going to do a spinal rotation. Good thing is, you can't really twist your hips. Okay, keep going. I'm just going to do the chair version. It won't work on a block for the next bit, just as a warning. Make yourself as tall as possible. Okay, so what I'd like us to add on now, so once you've done your spinal rotation, you're going to pull your tummy in, curl under and roll backwards. Keeping both bum cheeks on whatever surface you're sitting and coming back up and rotate. Rotating, tucking under, so you're rolling off your sitting bones, rotate as much as you can, so you can rotate further, coming back up, sitting tall, rotate, and both bum cheeks on the ground. Extend, one more. So this is going to be a combination of your rotation and your obliques. Adding on the same thing, and lift your elbows. That's it, good. Allow the bum cheek that you're looking towards to come off the floor. The other one.
How do you mean?
That's it, and then coming back up. So if that was unclear, I'm rotating towards the camera now. I'm rolling down and then my camera bum cheek comes off the floor, which brings my knee in a little bit, and that's fine. Can anybody feel the obliques yet? Okay, you have another little add-on to make it super nice. So rotate. Go for both bum cheeks first, let the one come off. Then you're going to extend your arms forward, roll a little bit further, and come up. Just sit tall. Oh, actually, I think I have the cup standing on here. Just to make sure everything stays nice and balanced. Oh, and add some extra weight. Yes, this little can makes a lot of difference. We're going to do 4 more. Right, left, right, left. Rotate. Tummy in. Whoops, slither. Bum cheek off. Extend. Lovingly looking at your cup of coffee. If you could do this with your coffee without spilling it, that'd be good. Bum cheek off. Stretching forward. If you find yourself in a position where you can't talk, you do not right. Last 2. The things you work out in the office and do 1 or 2 of them. Yeah, that'll work. Hallelujah. Okay. Good. Place the toys down, have a little rest while I check the clever book. Okay, so the next one, you can either sit in the chair, you can stand, or you can be in frogs. I'm gonna get on the chair. You need your book. So any seated position, you could stand, doesn't really matter. Just floating your book out, because we haven't really bent to the side yet, so just a couple of side bends.
So I'll do it on my knees.
Oh yeah. And that book gets so heavy. I actually quite like it with the weight, because yes, it sort of pulls you more into that bend, but then to come back, you've got that resistance, haven't you?
Yeah, so you're doing the negative portion of a side bend.
Yeah, oh, we've been so negative today.
Well, I mean, like, so
Negative is good.
So
sometimes.
this would be my side bend, this side, right? But the negative portion of it would be coming up from there.
Yeah.
Which is actually contracting the muscle under its length, which is very strengthening, actually.
We're going to be so strong. Just to feel the contrast, I'm going to try it stood up. Make sure I'm not leaning to the left again. I think sitting is actually harder.
Can I try it?
Yeah, of course you can. Let's do swapsies. Okay, just one more in each direction. God, my book gets so heavy now, doesn't it?
Maybe a heavier weight even.
And that side you're twisting.
Right. As we all hip replacement. So
Yeah. That's why we need the mirror for feedback.
oh, the teacher for feedback.
Okay, we're going to go back down to the floor. Sorry about the next one, but it is very good. Okay, you need your book. So we're all familiar with our double side leg lifts. You shall now hug the book between your feet. So you need to flex your feet. There we go. Nice and long, hips in line, and tra-la-la. I know some of you need a little padding underneath the hips. So we're just going to simply do 8 lifts as the first round. So everything's engaged, tucking under and lengthen and lift. 3, 4. Really push that top leg away as you come down. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Have a little rest. I'll show you the next one. So it's lift, and then you've got 2 options. You can slide the legs across the floor, across the floor to 90 and bring them back, or you can lift and lift. But I suggest starting with the sliding version first. My book's so that it would be, just watch it. Lift and slide and lift and lower. See, on returning there was no lift or anyone. And lift and slide and lift and lower. And lift, or you could lift and lift. Lift, oh, lift and lower. This is pretty hardcore. You might want to have your hands a little further forward. Don't be shy to just going for the slidey version. And just 2 more. Okay, just drop the book there. Bring your legs to 90. And that's a good quad stretch. Actually, let's do some openings today. So allow the leg to come up towards the ceiling, and I'm pushing it down as a zip up and hold. So open, and push, and open. Sort of like doing the oyster, but under tension. And then bring it forwards and backwards. Forwards, tuck under, and back. And forwards, tuck under, back, and forwards, tuck under, back. 1 more, forwards, tuck under, and back. And then just hold it back. Breathe. Let go. We're going to go into a quick hip flexor. So long leg, extending it backwards. The other arm reaches forward towards the side I can. And you know what to do. That leg could either be in the air, could be toes touching, it could be heel touching. You just want to feel that lovely stretch across the hip flexors. So just play around with it. What am I touching here? Oh, my book. Oh, this is good. I should do this much more often. So it's not necessarily how far your leg goes behind you. Mine goes quite far behind, but it's actually better for me to get it lower to the ground. If you've got a bad shoulder, if the underneath the arm is bad, I've got people also just folding the arm round. So you're just lying on the side, smoothing. Okay, and now comes the worst exercise ever, well from me at least, because I'm so tight in my quads and hip flexors. I'm loose in places, but not in parallel. Okay, so we're going to do some leg curls. Right.
I'm doing the other side.
Yeah, we will. Okay, so you're going to have your book again in between your legs, and I'm sort of halfway coming off the mat because I think it will slide better. Don't know where you are, carpet or wooden floor. So again, keep yourself nice and aligned. Arm a little bit further away. And all you're going to do is fold your knees backwards without allowing the hip to drop backwards. Okay, so things that will go wrong there is rolling backwards. So imagine you've got a skewer through both hips, they're going to stay in line. That knee will want to open and your back will want to arch. So we want to have none of that. So if I do it properly, I can sort of get to, well, I can't see where my legs are. It doesn't feel like they're going into places.
Not very far.
Not very far. I already feel tension in my back. So I'm actually going to bring them down a little inch further so I can tuck under.
And tuck under more.
Oh, tuck under more. And that's murder for me. How are you feeling, Steve?
There's some nice sort of nerve stretches in various places where all the arthritis is. Yeah.
So you can...
I've got to really tuck under and...
Oh yeah, definitely. So straighten, exhale, zip up hollow, fold in.
I'm having trouble hanging on to my book because my ankles are sort of knobbling into it. I think I might try it with the block, yoga block.
Okay.
It's a good book, that one. The Biography of the River Thames by Peter Ackroyd. Very interesting.
Okay, you could also, if you have your arm forward, lift a little bit and lower and straight. So let's do 6 of those. Leg curl, tuck under and lift and lower and straight. Now the lift could be both legs off the ground. Easy on the lower back. So mine's lifting about 1/4 inch, I suppose. And the next one I'm going to try keeping the knee down and just lifting the... No, that's not good. Try and lift both legs off. And really making sure, that was too much, I can't lift.
It's quite, actually with the block, it's quite good because you can squeeze it.
Yeah, my book works fine.
It's giving you a bit of weight and a bit of resistance.
Actually, that feels a bit looser now. I can fold my legs quite a bit further now. Okay, now let's do the whole shebang on the other side.
Yeah, it's stretching very interesting places and working on the hips and across the back.
It is, isn't it? One of my better inventions.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had the idea with a book because one of the clients said that did the postnatal Pilates workout where I had this big pillow as a baby, and for a way to use the Encyclopedia Britannia, which is heavy. I thought, oh, let's try something with a book. Okay, so rearranging to the other side. I love it how my dictionary matches the socks. Planned this. Okay, so lengthening, which is going to start with flexing the feet and 8 lifts. So 1 and lower. 2 and lower. And 3 and lower. And 4 and lower. And 5 and lower. And 6 and lower, and 7 and lower, 1 more, and 8 and lower. Then you have your slidey ones. Come a little bit further forward, works better on the floor. So lift and slide or lift and lift. So lift and slide and lift and lower. And lift or lift and lift. Again, I'm much stronger on this side, or you can alternate between lift and slide. 4. Make sure when you come back that your hips are level. Just noticed on myself that I've done a runner. Last one. And then drop the book. Fold the knees to 90. Quad stretch. Tuck under. And we're going to do our openings. So up and down. Up and down. And up. Down and up. Try and relax your neck as you do that. And down, forwards and backwards. Forwards, tuck and float it back. Forwards, tuck and float it back. And forwards, tuck and float it back. And forwards, tuck and float it back. And hold. Release the leg and go into your hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to straight away move my arm to a different position. There we go, my arranged pillow. I feel a bit like the cat. You know, sometimes the cat makes itself really long. It's that tiny little black cat. And when he stretches himself out, he looks like 6 meters long. And that's a feel-good feeling of, oh, stretching everything away from you, so be more cat. You can purr or meow, it's okay, nobody will hear you. Yeah, I should just do this for an hour.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It just really needs it.
I could just feel I really like to have a weight on you.
Yeah. Okay, well if you want to stay in this longer, you can always pause not the tape, the video. And then we're going to go for our leg curls with book. Okay, so squeeze your book. Up. Tucking under, folding the knees backwards. Well, this side feels a lot easier. So you could just do the movement, or you could just stay in that position. Make sure you don't rock backwards.
So are we lifting first or?
No, I'm just sliding.
Right.
I'm not ready for lifting yet.
Right.
This is my total weak point.
So just hip leg curls, hamstring curls. So if you think you're ready to lift, lift. And give it a go. Tuck under. Now I need to wander that hand right forward. Just 2 more. And then just leave the legs there a few more seconds to feel that stretch.
My book's slithering. Okay. Good. Oh,
Okay, that's a great class.
I've got another page to go.
Oh,
No, not another page. We might be cutting some stuff out because it might be a little bit long. Okay, right, we need to do some more oblique stuff. So, you've got various options. You can sit mermaid-like, which is this position, or you can have your legs here. That's the easy version. I'm just going to show you what we do, and then there's harder versions as well. So it's basically threading the needle. So we open up and thread the arms through. The arms, just the one arm. You can manage to thread through arms and you do it.
so we're,
Really nice spine rotation.
are we in sort of swastika? Or?
Yes, it's for people to try out. You might prefer it in swastika or mermaid position or with the legs there. So just try one each and see what feels better. I can get a better stretch where I need it in this position. Okay, so you find you can just stick with this. If you want to have it a level harder, put this foot on the ground and you're going to push your hips up. Rotate your chest and seat as much as you can and tuck under and then thread through. You could close again.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's pretty hardcore. I'm going to give the other options as well, which will become more oblique. So you could put the elbow down, push yourself up into a side plank, and then your bum needs to come up though for this one. So you're pushing your bum up as you reach through, and you'll feel your obliques, no doubt. Or you've got the full side plank version where you have the hand down. And again, your bum needs to push up. So it depends on what you want, obliques or more rotation. Or pick and mix. Well, it's good to see the teachers moaning, isn't it? Oh yeah, we can stick your butt up. That's right. Okay, I think that will do it. I think we'll change sides now. Oh, hallelujah. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of each. That's a good plan. So we do 8 in total. So.
Oh, hang on. Oh, okay.
I find you stuck on one side. This one doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere. So you can stick with this version. You can place the foot up and hoist the hips. You can come into the plank or continue what you're doing. Or you can come a level higher. And next week we'll work on the 6-pack. So you'll have all that nice definition on top of your super strong core. Good. We're now going to come to standing up. Oh, this is fun as well. You can fold your mat up and put it to the side. Okay, we're just going to do some squats with placing the book down and up. So, I'm going to go sideways, feet wider than your hips, slightly turned out, and placing the book down and up. And let's pretend we're practicing for heavy lifting, so postnatally, weight always comes into you as soon as possible. Squeeze your glutes. And make it harder, coming up standing on one leg. Whoa! See, no feedback from the mirror. Just shows me how to prepare this. Okay, 3 more. Okay, sorry about the next one. One-legged deadlifts. So you're going to stand on one leg, hopefully parallel. You might slither out, but parallel would be good. The other one's sort of parallel behind you. Again, it's not about the height of the back leg. You're going to hinge forward, keep this knee slightly bent, pick up the book, and recover. Pressing it back down, and recover. Trying to keep that knee really stable, and now it's going on boing, 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 boing. 4 more on this side. Whoa! Gotta make that noise. And swapping over. Ooh, weak leg to finish. So 8.
Now, I'm much more stable and stronger on the hip replacement side, which just shows how bad this other leg is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's mad.
5.
Because it's normally my unstable legs.
Just thinking, if you want to get the, sorry Steve, the kids involved, get them to pick up toys like that and make it a fun thing. How many can you do without falling over?
Get them to pick up toys.
I forgot my count now, let's make this the last one. Ooh, for nice strong hamstrings. Okay, I think you've got one last one, which won't take long, and you've got various options. As we're talking about the core, we need to do press up, don't we? I mean press up position. So you've got various versions, the one against the wall. Or the bar. Or chair, or kneeling, or full press up. Okay, so we're just going to hold it for 10 seconds, just really engaging the core. You know, I'm not expecting push-ups. This is just about engaging the core. So we're just really emphasizing that we're doing the core today. Right. Take your options, and 1 is also good for shoulder stability. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, obviously you could also do this one.
Or you could do a half press up, like this.
Oh, that's really hard, I suppose. And then, if you've got any heroes, this is boot campers, isn't it? Oh, this is really hard. Okay, but we wanted to turn this into obliques. So, any version, standing, chair, half, full, you can do your oblique twist again. So I'm going to go for the slightly one, and you need to twist as far around as you can and recover. Actually, I might go for this one. Yes, so when you come in, bend your knees, push your bum into the opposite direction. But it works just as well in a box setting.
Actually, I get a better stretch out of it on the chair because my bad hips don't have that mobility, so it doesn't kind of reach the obliques. But if I make the angle easier, I get farther round. It does more.
Yeah, and as I said, this one, having these together, just in the normal 4-point kneeling, works the obliques just fine. Anyway, it's making it all warm. Okay, we're going to come to standing. Take your books. Okay, so nice Pilates setup. You need your book, it's a really important part of the class. Place it on top of your head. God, that's heavy. So soft knees, see whether you can balance your book. It's another thing I have not tried. This feels very different from the block. God, it's so heavy. Now feel the weight of the block, but let your body grow against the weight. That's it, and bending your knees. And straighten. And again, bend knees. I'll probably sway to the left again. And straighten. Then we're going to try a rise. And lower, just one more rise. Okay, you're going to take the book off your hand, off your head. Open it on a random page. And read out the first sentence that catches your eye, but you've got to stand on one leg. So now I've got jamboree, 1, merry meeting, 2, large rally or gathering, especially of scouts and guides. Changing leg while Steve reads the sentence.
The Thames has always been allied with healing.
Well, that's good to know, isn't it? Okay. And that was your Pilates class with book and cup and tights. Cheerio.
The ancient Britons used to regard rivers as goddesses.
Oh, very
big. The word River Severn comes from the name Severinus, the goddess Severinus. That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. Oh, let us know which book you picked up that you never looked into. I haven't looked into this since I did my A-levels.
Right.